Are we okay? Now you can hear me. So can you hear me in the back? It's okay? Okay, all right, cheers. Right, so I'm gonna start big, and I'm gonna say that you cannot see what I have on screen. Is it like stuck? Because I changed the slide. Boop, boop. Okay, again. It didn't change. Right, well, let's crack on. Well, I don't have much time to do it. So, if it changes, it changes. The slide that I wanted to show you is a slide that says we created our own problems. Like a big, bold statement that we as IT people, we created our own problems. Just let me know once it changes. Okay, you just let me know. I'll just then progress with slides, not without slides. Why we created our own problems? The reason is we tend to look only as close as our team goes, right? So if we want to templatify things, I see some movement there, and I'm like, right. So if you want to templatify things, that means we want to simplify things. We want to go outside of our boundaries, outside of our teams. We want to collaborate. We want to work together. And the thing is, something's happening here. There it goes. Do you need me to switch something? It's a pink one here. There it goes. The quality is meh. Artifacts. Right, it will be off center, but you get the idea. So we want to start. We want to start with the first problem that we have is manual work. So we tend to work as easy as possible, but with manual things, with manual approach, and we cannot scale it, right? Because we try to work. Okay, I need to do it ASAP, so I will go to AWS console. I will click around. I will spawn the S3 bucket, and I will work this way. But it doesn't work this way. It doesn't scale up. So second thing is there is no standardization, meaning every team will do the same thing, but in a different way, right? So I will do one thing, the other team will do the same thing, but they will do completely different way. Which connects to the third thing about the discovery. So I don't know what the other team is doing, right? So when I go, I tend to know that they're doing something. They're using Python, but how? How do they build things? How do they push the Docker images? What's the application? What's the usage and things like that? And this this connects to the tribal knowledge. This is a term that knowledge is only within the team and only within the given structure. Reusability is just a plain thing that comes out of the all before. And with infrastructure, it means that who waits here for infrastructure? When you want an environment, who waits here for like a month or 2 weeks or something? Okay, okay, okay. Who gets it instantly, like 10 minutes? Oh, okay, hats off to you. That's the other problem. You want to test something quick. You want to test something right off the start. So I build an API. I want to test it if it works. I want to test if it scales. I want to test it in a sandbox. And I don't have a sandbox, so I test it on my laptop. But it turns out my laptop is configured differently than the infrastructure in our company. Then the networking is different, so it works differently. And there's a set of problems which lands to no communication. So if I don't reuse stuff, I do manually, but I don't talk about it, there's no one to tell me that I'm doing things the wrong way, right? So we need to talk. That's quite a big part of this templatifying thing I want to talk about. So what's the solution? Well, before that, who am I? My name is Karolina Ochlik. I'm from AstraZeneca. I'm based here in Warsaw. My position says nothing from like the perspective of like standard position naming, engineering excellence lead, which means I'm a person, technical lead, something of a subject matter expert when it comes to developer experience and handling things the most efficient, proper way, doing standards and such things. My experience is in highly regulated areas, starting from banking, so fintechs, then to telco, to pharma now. So I tend to work around like laws, enforcement, compliance, paperwork. Yeah, no worries, mate. I do tend to, I talk with many people here, and I talked about how I do like Scrum, but not. I do not like Scrum. I'm fan of healthy automation. I'm fan of Agile, but with small a, not the big A, not the capital A, a small a. I'm not fan of the copyrighted Agile. I'm just standard Agile. My LinkedIn, my website, nothing fancy. Some people tell me I need to be on Twitter. You need to be on Twitter to get your views. Right, so first step of every automation, on every standardization, on every templating, on basically everything that we do, we need to standardize it. So if we want to make it something work, automated way, we need to make it one way every time. There are places here. So you're sitting on the floor. There are places here if you want to. Oh, it's front row. Oh, sorry. No worries. So first step is standardization. So I need to make everything that happens, I need to make it every time the same way. I need to make it work every time the same way using the same set of technologies. So how do we do it? First thing you do is you need a closed set of languages. I know that it's not a popular thing. So if you work in an IT, you like using, oh, there's a new Zig version, I'm using new Zig version. But turns out it's not stable. I'm using new Rust version, but it's not stable. Oh, this new Golang version, it's in beta, I'm going to use it to deliver an API, but it's not, again, not stable, and it just need to update it every time and so on. So you need closed, curated set of languages. Curated as in, let's add something new later, but for now, let's just like a PRs. So the set of languages is like, I don't know, Java, Python, C#, .NET framework, C#, JavaScript, and Golang, for example, for a set of teams. This means that you can create a process for each and every one in most reusable way. Second thing is, you gotta start small. As in, if you approach the automation, if you approach the templatification, did I say correctly? Yes? No? Okay, ish. If you approach it this way, you cannot start as in, I will automate everything, I will templatify everything, I will do everything at once. No, start small. Small application. Proof of concept, then move to MVP, then move to another stuff, then reuse it, make it generic, make it more generic, make it even more generic, talk with people, yada, yada, yada. Then, this is the very cool part. Starting small means you have quick wins. So this means that you can show right from the get-go that you have something you can prove, that you have something that you can show, you have something that you can win. That means, you won't like it, I guess, you are doing also some kind of political work. Because this is also important part, especially in like positions that we need to take care of multiple teams, multiple ways. We need to have a way of saying this works. And if we don't prove it, and if we don't prove it quickly, we won't win. So this leads us to, I need to show what I'm doing. I need to talk about what I'm doing. Brown bags, meetings, communities, conferences. Everything is cool when it comes to showing what we do. And the last part is, you need to start it now. As in, I'm not going to do it in 1 year, I'm not going to in 2 years, I'm not going to wait for a new version of the new software. Need to start now. Because procrastination is a thing. I get it. I have been there, done that. So, how to do it? Like technically. I'm going to use more of a GitHub-facing nomenclature, so I'm not going to use pipelines from Jenkins and everything like that. I'm going to use workflows and from GitHub Actions. So when it comes to workflows, especially in like GitHub Actions area, as a good way to reuse something called reusable workflows. So this way you can reuse stuff for different technologies using the same pipelines if you make them generic enough. So you could see something. You can see here that for given code repositories in every language, I do have a workflow for a given language that has common steps, like test, build package if it builds something. Also, like build Docker image and push Docker image, build Helm charts, maintenance. I will talk about maintenance later, but this is a very important part to also work for templatify your maintenance, because standardization of infrastructure is also a key thing. Versioning, as in who maintains manual version of the systems they maintain. Like I need to tag something with the version 1.0.0. Okay, right, okay. Don't be shy. It's okay. It's okay if like the scale is small enough. So like versioning workflows, and then it uses a set of actions. Doesn't matter if it's internal or external. What matters is it uses in reusable way. So I need to be mindful of the time. I'm a chatty one. When it comes to code, this is an example that I wrote in like 3 hours. This is a Python application that basically lands you an API. So you specify a name, specify your version, specify who wrote it, just for the visibility. You specify what models do you need for the API, and then hit enter, and then the magic happens. The magic happens. The magic results in something like that. So you get a dark mode everything. So you get basically an application, an API with documentation, with authorization, JWT because it's the easiest one. But you've got your models with different methods. So you get post, get, patch, and delete. So you can work on it, and everything is basically created the same way. There are models created, so you have your name, description, you have your ID created at, so it's like a SQL friendly. For posts, for adding, you also have simplified models that returns created models, error handling, response things, and so on and so far. So that's a good start of templatifying, because the reason is, I personally am too lazy. Oh, I started some. My manager sits there. I'm too lazy to create a new API every time from the scratch. So I'd rather use something like this, pop some models, do some things. And I know for a fact that many developers would like to see it, just because creating CRUDs, URIDs, so basically the standard table operations with APIs, it's bread and butter of every developer. But what if you want more? Okay, we create a template for the application, but I want a template for front end, I want a database. In comes Backstage. Who's familiar with Backstage? Okay. So for those not familiar, this is a system written in Spotify, open sourced, and now they are starting their own SaaS products and things like that. But this is a system, it's an internal developer platform. The portal, not platform, sorry. So this is a system that allows you to create visibility, show dependencies, templatify, everything that you need, as far as it is a code, right? So if you want repositories, Backstage. If you want plugins for SonarQube, everything Backstage. So it has all that developers all that engineers might need. So this is a view of the templates. So you could see there's a default one that Backstage lands with. These are the two templates here. So one is a Spring Boot service. So basically click choose, click name, select where should I push it, as in what repository, where to push it. And then you can basically just choose and it creates everything for you with proper logging. So you can view every step through the journey. You can view everything. If some error happens, the error will be there, sometimes more or less obfuscated because TypeScript. But you have it, it is available, you can see it. This is an example of our own template, so one of our team's templates. So in this template, you see that there are 3 applications, 3 repositories that are spawned. One is for backend, one is for frontend, one is for like a system, which is an entity that combines everything together. So like documentation, maintenance, support model, and everything like that. And it just spawns 3 of them and registers it in the backstage itself. So not only I create repositories, I create which has Docker images, which have workflows, which have automated maintenance. It also have set up permissions. It also have set up like the version files. It has set up README and everything like that, all templated using, it's not Jinja 2, it's Nunjax. So it's Ninja 2, similar to Ninja 2. And then it registers it in Backstage itself. So you can see it in the system itself that, okay, I created it. And you can see like the dependencies of it at this very point of time. What about release? Okay, I need to release everything to Kubernetes. So to Kubernetes, we have multiple applications. I need to release them every time and yada, yada, yada. So what we created is we created a set of YAML files with PowerShell, because Linux, PowerShell, I love PowerShell. I don't know why. I hate Bash. Fight me. I create a set of YAMLs that that handles the definition of the application. So it has name, it has repository location, it has fixed version prefix. Why? I will come back to this later. So what's the type of the application, environments, Docker image name, and things like that, which then goes to Jira, which handles the fixed versions. So it handles what fixed versions do you have in Jira right now, and creates workflows for it. So everything that starts with release and there's a space, something named, it's an application that it was templated, created, the workflow was created automatically. So everything, apart from like this few of them, was a release that handles, do I have screen on it? No, I do not. Which handles information, so like Jira fixed version link, GitHub repository, changelog if there is changelog, release notes, so like what Jira issues went, how many tests there were, and things like that. It handles building image, it handles promotion of image, it handles acceptance, so if, every environment has, this creates also environments for every application. And every release needs to be accepted in GitHub itself. Next part in this journey would be, let's notify ServiceNow of the release. So I'm gonna notify ServiceNow, as in I'm gonna create a change request that is standardized using template. I'm gonna notify ServiceNow just because every production release with the compliance rules needs to be in ServiceNow, which results in the summary file with the commit ID, the version, the image tag, and things like that, with the build number. And this is every time something changes here, it also deletes drift. So if somebody changes something in the application, like I change version of the backend on the dev cluster, just because I want to test something, while this file changes, or 3 times a day, this will eliminate the drift and reinstall with correct version, just to ensure that everything is working as it's supposed to be. There is a simpler way of doing this. It's called Argo CD. wish we had Argo CD before I wrote everything that. But exactly the same thing, exactly the same way of thinking. You just need to add some things to make it work with like a full compliance on it. So, addressing discovery. Backstage gives you ability to see everything that you have with tags, what's the life cycle of it, what's the description. You see the repo, edit it, see the names, owners, and everything of everything that you put inside the backstage. So if you put in single file called cataloginfo.yaml, it will show it in the backstage if you configure it properly. This means you can see the dependencies in this way. This is like a dev plugin. I mean, this is a dev version of the plugin that shows graphs, but you can see the scale of it is like multiple things. You can see API definitions, you can see services, you can see components as in the repos. So you can put in the JSON from the Swagger, so Open API JSON, and then put it in the definition. It will basically give you Swagger out of the Roadie itself, so you can test your application from the Roadie itself. And this is real-life example, one of our applications. You see that basically there's a backend front-end and status application, owners, and everything like that. So that's one thing. Infrastructure. There's this fun thing called crossplane. You can store YAMLs as your infrastructure definitions. This means if there is a plain text file, even you can templatify Terraform files, it means that you can go with it and you can run with it, you can template it, you can reuse it backstage even. I should have worn the mass platform, as in the platform that we're creating with Crossplane, the t-shirt. Because this is basically what the platform that we're creating right now, what it does, it templatifies, it's templatifying the infrastructure itself. So you can go to Roadie, you can select something, you can select, I need a Python backend with React frontend, and it will spawn you EKS cluster. If you, not now, but in the future, if you want to, you can add your RDS instance to it. And this way you will have full stack application with one single touch of the button without any stupid questions like what's your cost center, what's your code of your left foot shoe, last 4 digits or anything like it. Just your name, your team's name, what services do you need, publish, done. And there's your environment secured in the intranet, so behind the firewall, and available in like 15 minutes or 30 because RDS are spawning quite long. So next part is discovery. Status page. Slides should be the other way around. So monitoring. I won't have discovery of the status of my system without a way of it working. So one of the ways is monitoring with status pages. Few examples. One is of our own systems. It's showing not only statuses of the whole thing, but with pressing this arrow, you will see different parts of the system. So you can press it, you can see which API is down, because sometimes systems might have multiple APIs, but the overall system also is monitored. There's one DX, so one of the cooler status pages that I've seen, and GitHub one. You just see everything, and you can land your monitoring on top of it. So let's say my service is notified of a failure in my, I don't know, dev instance of the service. That means I need to kick it. So I just need to kill the pod, restart it, try to see if it happens. If it happens, it's okay. If not, I will notify some email list or Teams message or Slack message or something similar if you want. About the automated maintenance, I mentioned quite briefly. So if you go with your status pages, if you create an API for it, that means you can land your monitoring also not only in a visible way, but also machine-friendly way. So this means you can go to this API, see if the systems are down or up, and just kick it. And with the SRE, it kind of connects to it, but it's a different approach. So this means that let's create tools that are also connected to everything together, that makes make my production go stable, that make my production go as long as possible. So SLA is as high as possible. The SLO, sorry, like 5.9, 6.9, 7.9, or whatever. Last part that I want to talk about is, I want to mention is, this is the most important thing you can do in your day-to-day work. And I want you to remember it, that one thing that we need to do in our day-to-day work is experiment. I need to be curious. I need to check what I can do. I need to check what I can improve. I need to check what I can add to it. And then, if the experiment is working, if I can share it, if I can go to some community, I create a template for my repository. Oh, let's migrate to Rody, the SaaS Backstage, sorry. Let's migrate to Backstage templates. Let's make it even more available and widely available. This way, we will succeed. But the last sentence I want to talk about is, if you're starting working on something, don't think about like perfect picture that you have in your mind first. First, make it work. As in, if I want to do an API that does something, do not care about spaghetti code, like multiple classes and everything. Like, you can write 1,000 lines in one file. Nobody cares. Because at the end of the day, people care if it works. I care if my API works. Then I care about how it looks, how it behaves, if it's stable enough, if it's easy to maintain. But I need to give my clients, my users, value, right? So this is very, very important thing. Make it work, then make it good. So make it work, iterate, refactor like crazy. Right, so that's for the presentation. Thank you so much. Link to LinkedIn. Link to LinkedIn. Tongue twisters, isn't it? So you can contact me there. We can talk. You can catch me also here on. I will be on the party, and I will be also tomorrow here, so we can talk if you want to chat, share experiences and everything like that. But any questions?